Variety Talk live from Las Vegas, and I'm your host, Lady Linda Leak. And we have a very, very special show that we have all been waiting for and why. We've got the man with the plan sitting here on the other end with the answers in his hand, Mr. Tommy Jenkins, formerly of Cameo. Tommy, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Linda. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, well, you know what, Tommy? You know what? Ever since I met you, first of all, I want to give a quick shout out to my dear good friend, Mr. Aaron Mills. Aaron, if you're watching, we love you all the way here from Variety Talk. And Aaron has definitely used our channel as a hub and has been really welcoming and to the Variety Talk family. And I remember when he set up a beautiful little table for us over there at the, where were you guys? At the Westgate.
Yeah.
And he just had it all hooked up for us. And we came over and we watched that show. And I'm going to tell you, Tommy, you know what? I talked about this the last time when he came on, and I'll have to talk about it again. You guys were so off the hook. I have never walked into a Las Vegas casino and have seen so many people up on their feet. And I mean, you were rocking the house. And so I just, I can't say enough about the talent. But my point is, even afterwards, when we had a chance to meet you, your demeanor was so, you're just so laid back and so cool that I really appreciated even just being able to connect with you. And are you like that all the time?
No. No, pretty much, that's, I've always had kind of like a laid back personality, but, I figure when I was younger, I mean, I've been through meditation and, I do Tai Chi. I do a lot of things.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah, they calm my mind, they calm my body, and my keeps my stress level down. I just try to do everything I can to get the most out of life, including diet, including what goes into your mind, what goes into your body is very important. And I've always been kind of like laid back, but that's my personal thing. When I'm on stage and I'm doing what I do on stage, it's almost like Clark Kent, Superman. It's a different kind of thing. It works like that.
Isn't that amazing? You know what? I can concur with that 1,000%. It's almost like you, when you go on stage, you have to, you put on that Superman outfit and you go out there and you do what you do. But inwardly, so the inquiry minds want to know, and all the lady minds want to know out there, what do you do in your spare time? The Tai Chi and the meditation sounds very, very interesting. What else do you do out there in your spare time when you're not on stage? Do you, and which will bring us to something fabulous. So I hope the first thing you talk about is the book that you're writing.
Yeah, that's what it was going to be.
So tell us
I just finished my second novel. My first novel it's a crime novel. Crime and thriller is what I'm attracted to. It's what I am drawn to in terms of the genre. Writing genre and reading as well. Walter Mosley is one of my favorite writers, black writers of fiction, crime, and so I've always written. However, I wrote my first novel, my debut novel in 2014 called Crime, Love, and Honor, and it's basically about a guy who's a PI, Los Angeles-based PI, Philip Hardaway, who gets into many adventures. He's married, he's got a young son, and he's very faithful to his wife. It's pretty much, all the temptations that can happen out there for a PI in terms of what you got to do to get information and all that. He's pretty much a straight arrow in terms of avoiding all that and getting straight to the point. So a lot of people, I don't know if anyone's listening, but a lot of people bought that first book, and I was very excited with the response. And I was inundated with requests for a sequel. And I went through several different ideas about how I was going to approach it. And what I wound up doing was not exactly a sequel, but it features my protagonist, Philip Hardaway, and he sets off on another idea. Actually, I based this particular novel in New Jersey, where I'm from. I was born in Rahway, New Jersey, and I decided to base the novel in Jersey, South Jersey particularly. And I don't know why I did that, other than I wanted to feel some type of connection, since I know the area. I'm very familiar with Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, so I thought it'd be a great idea to place the location of it there. And more importantly, what really set me on my path in terms of the theme and what I wanted to talk about and bring to the public in terms of a novel was all the killings of black unarmed men and women by police over the last several years. And my father was a police officer when for a time in Rahway, and he got caught up in a racist kind of situation where he had to quit. And he was a good police officer. He was really good, and a lot of the citizens and also the people who he may have had to lock up periodically talked about how fair he was and hard as well. If you want it, don't get in trouble, and you're good. That's what my father was, and he was respected like that. So I wanted to base a couple of characters in the book based on him, and the fact that there's so much going on with police activity, even still today, in terms of shooting and killing black men and women and not being held accountable for it. So the book speaks to that in a way. It's not necessarily just as a overview. Just let me say, as an overview, it talks about a young man, an athlete, a black high school athlete is killed. I'm not giving anything away because it opens the book like that. The premise of the whole story is finding out who killed this young man who was very popular. Takes place in a fictional small town in New Jersey, in South Jersey, near Philadelphia. Cherry Hill and Morristown and all those towns down there. It's based on those areas, and those towns in my book, gentrification and a lot of influx of minorities, blacks and Hispanics, kind of spook a lot of people, white people who aren't used to that. Their existence is pretty comfortable, but then here you have an influx of middle class, upper middle class people, black people, brown people, who upset the narrative a little bit. So it's a tenuous situation, and when the high school athlete is found, it shocks the whole town. So Philip is there with his mom and everybody in Montclair, and he's there and he reads an article. His brother-in-law works for the Times. He reads an article about unarmed black men getting killed by police, and his brother-in-law has this article about this kid that got killed in Brookland is the name of the town. Not Brooklyn, but Brookland.
Okay.
So Philip gets all caught up in that, and he winds up, with the help of a couple of detectives and the chief of police of Brookland, they wind up going on to find out who actually killed this young man and why. And he was very popular, very good athlete, one of the star athletes on the team. And I'll just say that betting hasn't. There's the gambling is involved. There's a newer gangster involved. There's a lot of people that pass through this thing that wind up playing a role in finding out who actually killed this young man. And I just finished it. I just actually just put it up on Amazon. It's not on yet. I just found out that I may have to make a couple of other changes before it's actually ready for publication. I've been dealing with it for a while, but this has consumed me as I go on my other day job with as far as singing and writing and performing. So I wanted to get this out. The ebook will be out. That'll be ready probably by tomorrow. It's called Hope Park, HOPEPARK, Hope Park, a Philip Hardaway Mystery by Thomas Michael Jenkins. So those of you who are into ebooks, you can go right on there. It's $5.99, and you can read an excerpt and see what you think. But I love writing. I love getting into political, socioeconomic discourse about what's happening in this country as far as minorities, blacks, and brown people, and what's going on. And if I can put that into some kind of form, book form, or do what I can to express my feelings about the matter in that way.
Well, absolutely, and I think it's so wonderful and apropos by your dad being who he was, a lieutenant, and so you got a first-hand view and knowledge of what's been going on, and I think that's the big thing. And secondly, we have been, and we were actually going to try to get him on today, but it didn't work out for us time-wise. But we were going to bring on Reverend Bishop Corey, who's come on with us quite often when we have these topics and discussions about the civil unrest and civilians versus the police. No matter who's right or who's wrong, the fact that this is taking place is outrageous. And it's not that it's something new, but it's just become so predominantly crazier. And so that's what we're all about also. So your timing here is really, really impeccable with Variety Talk as far as your book is concerned. And we of all people appreciate you joining us because it's a scenario that cannot be ignored, and it has to stop, and it needs to at least be discussed before we can figure out how to stop it. We need to talk about it. We're going to take a quick station break right now, Tommy, and
all right.
When we come back, we want to talk a little bit about Naturally, which is your #1 single, and Nick, hopefully we can open with that when we come back. So everyone, you're watching, or hopefully you're watching, Variety Talk live from Las Vegas. And wait a minute, I'm going to catch you right there when you say, I hope everybody's watching. You better believe we got millions of people across the country, 5 million to be exact, across the country watching this show. So you're watching Variety Talk live from Las Vegas. I'm your host, Lady Linda, and we will be right back.